With the 15th anniversary of Minecraft and its recent 1.21 update, I've seen a wave of new players, many of them adults, joining the community to discover how a ragtag indie game had the staying power to become a decade-and-a-half global phenomenon. But for all its charm and potential, the same sandbox style that grants it such appeal can also be a double-edged sword, with a huge learning curve for an inexperienced player. If that's you, you're in the right place, and welcome to Minecraft CavesNotes. The goal of this series is to create a library of easy-to-digest guides for understanding the basics of the Minecraft world. Things like how monsters spawn, what types of terrain and friendly creatures exist, types of movement and travel, and the physics of a world where stone stays put in midair and water can be replicated. So now it's time to head out. What should you take with you when you mine? The obvious answer is your pickaxe, but also having plenty of torches is incredibly important. Having a shovel can be useful if you encounter dirt or gravel blobs, so you don't waste your pickaxe's durability on those types of blocks. The axe isn't totally necessary, but in the early game you don't have a lot of items yet, so consider taking it in case you do run into an underground structure such as an abandoned mineshaft. And if you have a weapon like a sword, that can be handy as well, but again, in the early game isn't completely necessary if you're willing to avoid caves. Food, as much as you can muster, is useful. In this case here, I don't have a lot of food. 10 berries isn't going to last very long. The mutton will be just fine. As long as I don't encounter any enemies, this should be plenty of food. But if I do run across a cave and decide to go caving, then I would argue that this is not a good enough amount to start with. Lastly, the one tip that I can offer you is take the crafting table with you, as well as some sticks or at least some planks to make sticks out of. That way, as you find coal and you find cobblestone, you'll be able to craft new tools or more torches. The torches will not require the crafting table, but as long as you're getting the coal, you can craft them on the fly. There are 3 different mining techniques I'll talk about to get you started. The first one is best if you're lucky enough to be in some mountains, but even if you're not, if you do have some varied terrain such as this here, pick a low area and you can just start digging into the side of the hill. We'll call this tunnel mining. It's nothing other than digging a straight tunnel until you find something. As you go along in a tunnel mine, especially once you're deeper underground, consider placing your torches on the wall on one specific side. That way, for example, if I place torches on the right side, I know that as I see torches on the right side, I'm heading deeper into the mine, but if I wanted to turn around and head home, I should be seeing torches on my left. The advantage to tunnel mining is that it is quick and easy to start, and you will collect plenty of stone. The downside is, because you're not heading any deeper, you may not find what you're looking for nearly as quickly this way. This would probably be considered the least ideal option for efficiency, but is one of the safest. We found some coal, but so far, oh, look at that. So far we haven't seen any iron. That's because, according to our chart, we're pretty much at the worst possible level for iron right now. We can get it here, but there's just not a whole lot of it. So, at any point, we can choose to switch to our next technique. To start heading deeper safely, just begin digging a stair-step pattern. You only need each step to have a space of 3 blocks high. 1, 2, 3. Just keep in mind when you do this that when you do come back up or you head back down your mine, because this is the bare minimum space, you will actually go up and down slowly because of these blocks that are hitting your head. So instead we can go 1 more and not have that problem. Ooh, look, more coal. Just be sure to place your torches down Personally, when I'm placing torches on a staircase, I like to put them up at the top of the blocks here. This allows me to come back later on and actually add stairs to these blocks for quicker access. This method is a bit more time consuming, but it still remains pretty safe as long as you continue lighting up your staircase with torches, and it will allow you to reach the ideal level that you're looking for. In this case right now, as we're looking for iron, we're looking to get down to y equals 16. You may occasionally find a submerged cave like this. You can always just adjust and temporarily go back to a tunnel mine, and after we tunnel a little bit farther we can go back to stair-stepping down. Alternatively, if you wanted to get down to your mining level much quicker, you can essentially create a mine shaft. But before we do that, we do want to consider how we're going to get back up the shaft. In the early game, the best way to do this is just to make some ladders. Ladders, though, take a lot of sticks, so you will need to consider how many you need. It takes 7 sticks to make 3 ladders, and I need to go down 48 levels. Now, you'll hear lots of talk about digging straight down, and I'll tell you right away that I do not recommend digging a 1-block shaft. Instead, if you dig a 2x1 shaft, you can fall without taking any damage 3 blocks. So you can dig one side of the shaft down 3 blocks and then see what's there, and then safely dig under your feet on the other side. Just line yourself up roughly in the middle and alternate back and forth. That way, if the floor underneath you does drop out into a wide cavern, you won't fall straight in it. Also, because we are digging down, as long as we are standing in this area, we do not need to place any torches. Not until we get to the bottom. Obviously, the one caveat to this would be don't start doing this at night or as the sun is setting, or you could have enemies drop down on you from above. Once we get down a ways like this, that's not a problem anymore. Oh, see, here's a great example of opening right into a cave. So then what we can do here, we hold our sneak key to try and look around. I see it looks like the side of the cave is maybe on that side. We can simply adjust our position, and then we'll go ahead and fill in this block here. We'll place our ladders as high as we can go. And when we come back up, we'll finish placing the rest of them. But for right now, let's say hypothetically we don't even want to deal with this cave. So I can see that it looks like we can go one more block this way and be just fine. So we'll dig over this way, and then we'll check by digging down. Everything looks good. Now we have made a small flat area, so we are going to go ahead and place a torch in this area to keep it lit up as we get farther away from it. You can also place your ladders as you go down if you like. Now here we are at level 16, and we can begin tunneling. I'm going to take a quick break here and go finish placing my ladders up the side. To climb a ladder, simply push forward into it, or while standing in the block that it occupies, hold the jump button. Oh, it's snowing outside. Clicking the use button while pointing at a block will place a ladder on it. If you let go of forward or jump, you'll start sliding down the ladder. Also, if you hold this sneak button while you're on the ladder, you can hang from it. Just be careful that if you move out of the block that the ladder is occupying, you will fall. We can hear mobs in the caves around us, but we've managed to get down to level 16 without having to intersect any caves. If you end up in a situation like this, you can block it off if you're not interested and choose a different direction. Since I am in a tunnel, I should consider placing my torches on one side, even when I wrap around the corner. And we've uncovered some iron. Let's see how much we get here. We got 5 iron from that vein. It's not too shabby. Oh, look, there's some more right behind it. Be careful also while digging above your head. Occasionally, you may find that either there are blocks such as gravel that are above it, and unlike many other blocks in Minecraft, gravel is affected by gravity and will fall on top of you and can cause damage through suffocation. Or you may dig upward and there's an open cave right above you and some mobs fall into your tunnel. So now we have 14 iron. We're off to a pretty good start. So now that you have your iron, you can't craft anything with it yet. You'll need to smelt it in the furnace first. If you haven't already, go watch the video on crafting and smelting to understand how to do that. And once it's smelted, raw iron will become iron ingots and will allow you to start crafting better tools, weapons, and armor. As with many things in life, there is one other option, and it is the riskiest, but also offers the highest chance for reward. Instead of starting a mine, you could go exploring and looking for an open cave entrance. Don't worry, they're pretty common. Just make sure when you do this that you utilize torches to light up the area as you go along. The reason this is obviously the riskiest is because right now you don't have much in the way of protection, and once you start exploring the caves, chances are you are going to start finding hostile mobs. So try to keep an eye on your surroundings. If you do this, I certainly recommend having more food. In this case here, I don't really have enough. Oh, we ran into our tunnel mine right down there. But you can see I can already find coal deposits rather easily. There's some more coal. And if we can find a cave that goes deeper or in the mountains, it's totally fine to go higher, then getting iron should be very easy. On top of that, even when you're mining, chances are you're going to run into caves. And the deeper that you get, the more likely mobs are to spawn. So, let's imagine for a second that the first time we had come down our shaft mine, we did decide to go ahead and start exploring the caves here. Let's first make sure that we can get down safely. Make sure to light up as you go along. I like to keep blocks handy in my hotbar so that I can create pathways if needed. And we can see some iron down here. Let's ensure that things are safe before we go start mining. If you do end up in this situation, don't run out and start mining the ore. Explore the area around it a little bit first and make sure that you're not going to get snuck up on. Okay, nothing's going to come up through this way. We're going to light up this room here. And we're going to peek down this hallway. And I think... Now once we light up on this side, the water actually will push mobs away, so we're actually pretty safe on that side. And we just need to check this side over here. Oh boy, okay. What we can do is just block that one off. I think for now we are going to block this one off too. That way I don't have to deal with it. Okay, so I've lit up a decent area around here where I should have some time to come back and mine this iron without any enemies coming to sneak up on me. So although we'll talk about structures and underground biomes in the next mining video, for now I do want to point out a couple of features you may find underground. One of these is the Amethyst Geode. These can generate below Y level 30 and are the only source for amethyst crystals and amethyst blocks. Ironically, fully grown amethyst clusters can actually be collected by hand. But doing so will only yield half the normal amount of amethyst crystals you would get by using a pickaxe. Amethyst crystals actually do emit a small amount of light themselves, so most of the time when you find these, you're not going to find mobs inside of them unless they are open to another area where the mobs could have come in from. Amethyst doesn't have very much use functionally for recipes, but the block itself is rather unique. It makes small chiming sounds when you're walking on it, and this is the only place you can get it, so it's a very rare decorative block. As for the crystals themselves, they can be crafted into blocks, and they're also part of the recipes for a spyglass or for tinted glass. Fossils can only generate under deserts and swamps, making them incredibly rare. These are a collection of bone blocks that can be excavated, and in higher levels, some of the blocks will be replaced with coal, but down in the lower levels, these blocks will be replaced with diamond ore. They're an interesting novelty, but other than collecting the bone blocks themselves, they're not necessarily something you need to look out for, but if you do stumble across one of these, consider yourself very lucky and maybe go buy a lottery ticket. Well, that should be enough to get you started, and I'm sure you'll learn many more other things on your own. But I will leave you with one final tip. If you consider yourself a seasoned and skilled gamer, take the risk and go caving, go brave the dark and dig deep, and you'll get iron rather quickly. If you're a little less sure, or you're looking forward to my combat tips, then by all means there's no rush to get iron. Or you could go exploring overland and look for some mountainous areas or some shallow cave entrances where you can find it generating near the surface. However you play is always going to be up to you. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and look forward to the next one, and as always, thanks for watching.